Hello, welcome to the new week, 3rd to 7th of February 2025. As always, I'm Atomashi Daniel, the Stratos Global Market Analyst. Um, as usual, we normally start with our fundamental analysis when looking at the pairs. The first pair we're going to be looking at is the GBP USD. So we expect some significant data across board today, especially pertaining to the US economy. Okay, but the highlights for me for this week is the BOE monetary policy report. Where we're going to be looking at how the economy has been doing under the new Bank of England's administration, and also the official policy rate if there's going to be a hike or a cut. Okay. The next key news for today, calendar news, is the NFP expected on Friday. And as always, with the new administration in play, we should expect Trump's comments and tariffs to influence the market. You never know what to expect, especially with periods of volatility like this characterized by Trump's comments. Now, let's go into the charts, see take a look at what to expect. Okay, take a look at what to expect from the charts. We have the GBP USD. There you go. So if we start with the weekly chart, we can see here that, um, as always, if you've been following our Telegram channel, you've known that we've followed this guy, okay, on the weekly chart, especially how it's been moving with respect to this red trend line right here. You see that from the year, um, yeah, 2023, okay, as at March 2023, this guy has been moving along this nice trend line, broke below it late last year, and then right now it looks as though it's broken way below it and about to hit new lows. But it has formed a morning star, a morning spinning top star, in fact, with a nice gap, okay? A very nice gap between the close of the spinning top and the close of the bullish candle after it. Very wide, creating a wide gap right here. In many instances, that's usually a signal for a bullish run. Okay, so I'm very skeptical right now with the patterns formed below the trend line. It looks as though it's about to touch new lows, especially with Trump comments and tariffs. Okay, but then with this new pattern here still in existence, you want to be careful. So best to do right now is to trade within a range for the GBP USD and attack new levels when you see break of key support levels. So for me, I'm going to go on a strong sell. If I see a break of key support level 1.2093, okay, the thick pink line right here. So that's the weekly chart. If we look at the daily chart, we see that there's some sort of positive divergence, okay, on the RSI. RSI positive divergence right here, indicating that a possible correction in price going upwards is imminent. Okay, again on the daily chart, we have price moving along a descending channel right there. Very nice descending channel. And if you look very closely, you see that um, it doesn't look as though it's broken. It looks as though it broke past it here, but price returned into the channel. Okay, so it's not a convincing break. Hence, we still have price moving within the range of the descending channel. Okay, so on the daily chart, considering RSI analysis, it tells us that a positive correction is imminent. Okay, but on daily chart, same daily chart, still tells us that price may yet move down within its descending channel. Now on the 4-hour chart, what do we have? Good. You can see the thick blue rectangle there. Surprisingly, when price opened the market today, okay, the early hours of today, Monday, we had a nice gap. A nice gap. Oh, beautiful. Okay, from 1.2386 down to 1.2321. You can see the rectangle right there. And what happens to gaps in the FX market? If you've been trading the FX market for a while, you know that gaps like this tend to correct itself. Okay, could happen immediately within the day, immediately within the course of the day, or perhaps within the course of the week. So, in trading this guy, okay, I predict In the short term, because of the presence of this gap, okay, I will go for a bullish run. Okay, if a clear break of 2321, okay, let's put a nice level there, put a thick line. If a clear break of 1.2321 happens, okay, then there's a 50%, a 70% probability that it will most likely close the gap. But as I always tell my students, better to be safe. Okay, so if I were you, I'll trade halfway to 1.2354 psychological level, 54 level. Okay, halfway between the beginning of the gap, okay, here, and the end of the gap. So I put my buy position at the break of 1.2321 to 1.2354. That's one resistance level, okay? And if it breaks beyond that, okay, then the next most likely target would be 1.2386. In the short term, I'm looking for buy signals, okay, coming this way. So resistance going upwards rather. Resistance for me would be 2321 key resistance level. A break above that could see price head to 1.2354 or 1.2386. And a break beyond that could touch Fibo level of 1.2414. 1.2414. There you go. Now, what else do we see? Okay. A break beyond that Fibo level could see price head to 2471 and 2519. Okay. And possibly 2572. Now, a break beyond key level of 2386 and 2519 coincides with the break of um, the descending channel we see right here. So if you put the next key resistance level, yeah, at the previous significant high, we have 2521. So a break above 1.2521 could see price head to 1.2572, and beyond that, psychological level of 1.2600. Okay, and because of where the market is right now, starting in a very diminished position, a setback of a gap within the course of the week, it might not be easy to break past the previous significant swing high. So we expect that price might trade within a range today. I'm not bullish. I'm not bearish on this guy unless I see break of key support and resistance levels. Now, something else, okay? Yes, if a break of the trend line we see here, characterizing the divergence, same thing as the break of the descending trend line happens, then we're looking at a strong bullish run on the GBP USD. Now, on the flip side, if price continues within the descending channel, you can treat this target, okay, the halfway line of the channel as the first support point. And the halfway line in this case would be uh, close to a psychological level of 2200. Okay, and below 2200, if price breaks below that, then you can consider key level of previous significant swing low of 2105, and a break below that could see price head to psychological level of 2004. And a further break below that, of course, we could see it touch 1.1900 or even 1800. With strong comments and volatility this period, you never know what to expect. So keep your fingers crossed and watch the market very carefully. That's for the GBP USD. Now let's take a look at um, the USD Swiss. Let's take a look at the USD Swiss and the USD CAD. What fundamentals should we expect on this guy? What fundamentals should we expect? Okay, so for the USD Swiss and the USD CAD, the same data from above for the GBP USD are expected to affect these pairs, but with stronger emphasis on Trump's comments and tariffs, especially on Canada. He has imposed a 25% tariff on Canada. Canada has retaliated back. Right now, it looks as though there's going to be a trade war ongoing in between these two countries. We don't know. Best to keep your fingers crossed, look at the markets carefully, and plot your trades, okay, using very key resistance and support levels within a range right now. Yes. So after that, we're going to look at the chart. Let's go into the chart to look at what the USD Swiss and the USD CAD have in store for us. There you go. Now, for the USD Swiss, what do we have first of all? If you look strongly at the weekly chart, you'll find something very important here. Look, on the weekly chart, earlier on last week, we predicted that price would react to the 200-day moving average and possibly touch the trend line, okay, react to it. And that's exactly what it did last week. As soon as it touched the trend line, it jumped back up. And right now, it's above the 200 MA line. We're looking at price currently above the 200 MA line. That is a key level, okay? If it breaks past this trend line, right here, the green line, then there's a good possibility that we could have a strong bullish run to new levels because this is quite important. Why? Price has not really moved significantly above the 200-day moving average on the weekly chart since November of 2022. That's over 2 years already. Over 2 years. Okay, it's not done that, and that's quite significant. Now, if it so happens to break this trend line, it will mean that the bullish trend, okay, has actually peaked to levels where it could drive it to new levels, okay, in the future. Now, if you look at the daily chart, what do we have? On the flip side, the daily chart is showing us that we have negative divergence. So on the weekly chart, above the 200 MA, showing that the bullish power is quite strong. But on the daily chart, we have negative divergence showing us that a possible negative correction, a bearish correction could happen on the USD Swiss. On the same daily chart, last week we predicted that there'd be a break of the bearish flag based on what had happened. And we said at the break of bearish flag going up, there should be a continuation upwards of the bullish run we see right here. Okay, you see the flag, the pink lines. Okay, that's the flag pattern. So price broke past it after touching support levels of the flag pattern, got to new levels, and currently at very strong key level, reacted to psychological level of 1.9200, got close to it, like 3 pips below it. Okay, but we all know that it's possible that that's the psychological level it was reacting to before currently dropping to current levels of 0.9169. Now, on the same daily chart, price went on a bullish run via an ascending channel. Okay, if you follow the pink lines in, you see that price has been moving steadily along an ascending channel. And what did it do? In the course of the week last week, it broke past below it, and we predicted that there'd be a drop, especially to the 50-day moving average, the green line right here. So it touched the 50-day moving average and responded to psychological level of 0.900. Okay, touch that key psychological level, which corresponds to the 50-day moving average, the green line we have there. Okay, and then when it did that, we had a strong rise, a strong bullish response after that to touch the support level of the channel we see here on the daily chart. So if price heads back into the range of the channel, we should expect a nice bullish run to new levels. However, okay, on the 4-hour chart, again we see that it broke past previous resistance levels. Last week's weekly outlook, we had resistance levels 9072, 083, 112, 9133, and 9150. All resistance levels have been broken. Take profits have been captured. Okay, go back to the Telegram channel in case you missed it, or the YouTube channel to watch. Going further, on the 4-hour chart still, we still have the heads and shoulders pattern we saw last week, still looking quite strong. We see the head pattern here. Okay, we see the head, yeah, the shoulder and the right shoulder here. Okay, now price is currently looking to cover up a gap. Now, what's that gap? If you look at the 1-hour chart, you see that there was a nice run right there. Look, the USD Swiss opened at high levels, creating this huge gap. If we highlight that gap, we have this nice gap right there. Okay, so in the short term, a break of key level 9150 could see price head to 9137, 9124 for scalpers and intraday traders, and then 9112. Why is there the halfway line here? Because even though price tends to cover up the gap, okay, created especially in Forex, sometimes it just doesn't. It just goes halfway and then reverses. So to be conservative, we're gonna put our first target at the halfway line, 9124. You can capture the take profits between key level 9150 and 9124. Okay, if price breaks strongly below that, then we could see it touch close the gap completely at 9112, and then a further break below that could see price head to 9082, 9033, or 9012. And coincidentally, 9082 and 9033 corresponds to our neck. Our neck of last week, you see here, neck 1 and neck 2. A strong break below that could see price test 9012, okay, 8975, 8927, 8896, or 8854. On the flip side, if we have a strength of the Swiss or on the weakness of the dollar, because the heads and shoulders pattern still holds strong on the 4-hour chart. But on the flip side, if price breaks past the head, okay, you see the key level here of 0.9201 or 00 psychological level. If it breaks past that in a bullish run, we should expect um, price to touch key levels of 9220, 9241, 9271, or 0.9300 as key resistance levels. So that's that for the USD CHF. Let's look at the USD CAD. Okay. For the USD CAD, what do we have? It's a simple pair. Based on the analysis we did last week, something happened on this guy at the start of the new week. You can see here that we have been trading within key levels 1.4451 and 4317. Better appreciated on the 4-hour chart. You can see the range right there. Yep, you see price moving within a range. Okay, the range of 1.4451 and 4317, perhaps maybe 4312. Yes, so we predicted that while it was moving along an ascending channel on the 1-hour chart, a break above the ascending channel could see price touch 4519 and 4591. We already captured those take profits, okay, those take profit levels on our Telegram channel. And same daily chart, what do we have now? Look, price has currently, at the start of the new week, start of Monday, jumped past 1.4665, mostly on Trump comments and tariffs over the weekend and the close of Friday. Okay, mostly on that. We see a huge jump right now at the previous significant swing high of March 2020. March 2020 gave us this high. Price has currently broken past it and is struggling to stay there. So, in the short term, what do we predict? As always, same thing that applies to the USD Swiss. A gap has formed. Okay, in the short term, if a break of 1.4674 happens, then we could see price touch 1.4556. That's the full closure of the gap. But to be conservative, I always tell my people to be conservative, consider 1.4617 halfway between the two gap levels. And if you want to be adventurous, you could also attack 1.4600 on a scalping move or intraday positional move. Okay, since it's a strong psychological level. So a key break of 1.4556 could see price touch 4504 or back to our key resistance level here of 1.4451, 4450. Okay, as we can see here. Now, a break below that could see price head to 4384, and a break below that could see price touch our key support level of 1.4312. Ladies and gentlemen, that's on the support end. Now, if price further goes below that, which is going to be rare, it will take a strong range, bearish range, or strong volatility to push past 4312. Okay, because this movement here, based on the nice push up on the USD CAD, was a rectangle. And rectangles, what do? They tend to do what? Continue. So the rectangle right now has hit new highs. If it's going to continue beyond that, it's left to be seen. If it's going to come back down into the range of the rectangle, that's also left to be seen. But if it returns into the range, as always, 1.4384 is going to be hit. It's most likely going to be hit. And then 1.4312, where a key break below that, we could see um, targets of last week's support level of 4290, okay, 1.4261, 1.4200, or 1.4109. But then again, that's highly unlikely because it will take strong movements in the markets. But don't rule that out because, again, we have Donald Trump in power right now. Anything could happen. And with Canada and the US slamming tariffs back to back, who knows how far this currency is going to go. So keep your fingers crossed and be safe. This is the USD CAD, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what else should we look at? We also touched upon the BTC USD. Okay. We touched upon the BTC USD and gold. That's um, consolation for you for the week. Consolation for you for the week. What do we look at? What do we expect? Okay. We have Trump comments and tariff, and also impact from the news coming from the US economy, same as above. Okay, and global tensions. Of course, gold is a safe haven currency. If any global is the global tensions we have, of course, escalate, it could drive it to new highs. BTC USD, that's Bitcoin and US dollar. Trump tariffs and comments could also drive it. So also global tensions, okay, which could trigger a huge buy, okay, on Trump's comments and tariffs, a huge sell-off, as happened last week, where we had a strong drop of Bitcoin from previous levels. So let's take a look at the charts and see what these two guys have for us. Okay, take a look at the charts. Let's look at the BTC USD first. What do we have here? Very simple, guy. On the weekly chart or the daily chart, we see that it touched um, the high of 109, okay? But then a double top formed right there. We have a double top formed there right now, okay? And price currently playing around the 100-day moving average. That's the blue line, this blue line right here. Let's highlight that. We see price currently playing around, okay, that's not going to allow us, the 100-day moving average right here, okay? So a break below the 100 MA and key support level of 92,000 would see price touch Fibonacci levels 23.6 off 87,415, and a break below that could see price touch the 80,000 mark. Okay, and further break, price could touch the 200 MA. All right, and um, if possible, yeah, if possible, it could go as low as 74 or 75,000 on the BTC USD. Now, what else do we see? We see negative divergence on the RSI, indicating that a possible correction is imminent. Correction to the downside is imminent on the BTC USD. And you see, there's something else here that's quite similar. If a break of those key levels happen, it would mean that it wants to test this fair value gap level here. And we know that fair value gaps are sure monies in the market. So a key break of the key support level again of 1.920, 92,000 rather, key support level, could see price test the fair value gap formed right here. Now, finally, on the 1 hour chart, in the short term, we see positive divergence, okay, indicating that there could be a brief bullish run on the BTC USD, and that brief bullish run could translate to key support levels as, in the short term, if you look at the pivot level, yeah, we have 98,000, and above that, if it breaks past the 50 MA, 100,000, okay. Beyond that, it could touch the gap between the 100 and 200 MA here, perhaps 101,000, okay, on the BTC USD in the short term, ladies and gentlemen, in the short term. And if you're a FIBO trader, you're looking at, yes, possible, another possible level here could be 96,000, 96792, okay, in the short term for the BTC USD. So in the short term, I'm quite bullish if a break off this significant swing high here of 95,000 happens. If a break of that level happens going up, I'm going to go bullish to the levels just discussed, okay? But if a break of key support level as discussed on the daily chart, okay, of 92,000, then we could have a drop to levels earlier talked about. Now let's go to gold. Let's go to gold and see what that guy has in store for us in the market this week. And then we'll finalize our weekly outlook. So this guy is a very nice, he's moving in a nice range. Okay. He's been doing that since August 2023, an ascending channel. On the daily chart, same thing. Okay, nice is ascending channel right there. So we see price currently at the halfway point of the channel, okay, key level within that channel. A break above that could see price test 2850 level, okay. It's already gone past previous significant swing high that formed October 2024. That's a key level. Now, a break beyond that could see price test 2850, okay, or 2900 psychological level. Now, a break of the trend line we see here, let's give that trend line a different color. If we have a break of support level, okay, the trend line acting as support, we could see price touch 2729 support level here, and a break below that could see price go as low as 2690 or 2603. And of course, if Trump comments and tariffs affect this guy too much, you could see a drop to 2540. So that's that for our weekly analysis. Remember to keep your lot sizes low and moderate. Okay. As always, thank you for joining us. I'll see you again next week on New Weekly Outlook. Have a good one. Bye bye.